Hello, BBN. Great news for Kentucky. But first, subscribe to the channel to keep up with more updates. The Kentucky Wildcats are at a pivotal moment in the college basketball recruiting scene, especially following the official visit of Caleb Wilson, the talented class of 2025 player who began his visit this past weekend. Ranked number 5 in his class, Wilson is one of the most coveted prospects in the country and is at the center of a competition that includes other major SEC programs such as Alabama and Arkansas. For Coach Mark Pope, this visit represents a crucial opportunity to further solidify his growing recruiting class and continue the success he has started to build in Lexington. Coming from Atlanta, Wilson brings a skill set that combines both offensive talent and defensive potential, traits that have made him a priority for the country's leading programs. His size and wingspan are ideal for the style of play that Pope wants to implement, and adding a player like Wilson to Kentucky's roster could make a significant difference in the Wildcats' competitiveness in the coming seasons. Not only is he a highly versatile forward capable of impacting both sides of the court, but he also promises to be a defender who can guard multiple positions, something highly valued in modern college basketball. With 2 native Kentucky recruits already secured among the top 25 of the same class, Pope is building a solid foundation for the 2025 season. The focus now is on building on this initial success, and Caleb Wilson represents the next major step. His visit to Lexington is not just another stop in his recruitment process, but an opportunity for the program to show why he should choose to wear the Wildcats jersey. A strong performance during this visit, both from the coaching staff and the players already on the team, could be the differentiator that influences Wilson to commit to Kentucky. However, securing his signature will not be easy. With Alabama and Arkansas also heavily involved, Kentucky will have to compete with programs that can offer promises of immediate playing time or a system more tailored to Wilson's style. These factors are crucial for a high-caliber player, and it is up to Pope and his team to convince Wilson that the path to NBA success can be best navigated under Kentucky's guidance and system. From Pope's perspective, this weekend's visit carries considerable weight. If all goes well, the Wildcats not only increase their chances of securing Wilson, but can also send a powerful message to other elite recruits. With many prospects watching how this recruitment unfolds, a commitment from Caleb Wilson could create a domino effect, easing Pope's job of attracting other talents to his 2025 class. A coach's ability to build a championship program often hinges on milestones like this, where a single recruitment can change the team's direction and set the narrative for subsequent seasons. Wilson's visit also highlights the importance of Kentucky maintaining its national relevance in recruitment terms. With programs like Duke and Kansas always strong competitors for elite recruits, the SEC has increasingly become a conference capable of attracting top-level players, and Kentucky needs to continue positioning itself as one of the most attractive destinations for these athletes. Pope has already proven he can compete in this arena, and securing Wilson's commitment would further demonstrate that the Wildcats are prepared to return to the top of college basketball. Wildcats fans have reason to be excited, as if everything goes according to plan, the path to success may be being paved with the recruitment of talents like Caleb Wilson. Coach Mark Pope has already shown he can draw in great talents, and we're hopeful this guy will join the team. Jackson Robinson is about to embark on a pivotal season for Kentucky basketball, already making waves before even setting foot on the court. Renowned college basketball analyst Andy Katz recently released a list of the top 16 small forwards for the 2024-25 season, placing Robinson in the 10th spot. To many, this ranking seems modest given the talent and potential he brings. Robinson himself publicly responded to the ranking, indicating he's keeping receipts, clearly motivated to prove he deserves a much higher spot. Robinson's response on social media isn't just an isolated reaction, but reflects his mindset for the upcoming season. He brings valuable experience from his previous stints in the SEC at Texas A&M and Arkansas, where he didn't fully realize his potential. Now, under Coach Mark Pope at Kentucky, Robinson is driven by a desire for redemption and a commitment to prove he belongs among the elite of college basketball. Last year, Robinson led BYU in scoring, showcasing his ability to be a reliable scorer in any system. His arrival in Lexington raises the expectations of both the team and its fans. With his reach, three-point accuracy, and court vision that makes him a threat from multiple areas, Robinson could be the difference-maker for the Kentucky Wildcats this season. Katz's arguably low ranking might be just the fuel Robinson needed to elevate his game even further. For a player who has much to prove and understands the stakes in one of the nation's most competitive conferences, being ranked behind other small forwards could serve as additional motivation. And as everyone knows, an athlete with something to prove is always a potential threat. Robinson possesses all the tools to be more than just the 10th best small forward. His ability to score from anywhere on the perimeter, combined with his experience and playtime under a coach like Mark Pope, suggests he's poised for a breakout season. With the Wildcats looking to rebound and climb back to the top of the SEC, having a player like Jackson Robinson at his best could be the key difference. For many, this season will be when Robinson cements himself as one of the top 5 small forwards in college basketball, with a real chance to average 20 points per game. History teaches us that talented players like Robinson, who play with a chip on their shoulder, often exceed expectations and leave a lasting impact. Coach Mark Pope knows what he has: a player who could change the course of the season and possibly propel Kentucky to new heights. With this new phase, the expectation is that Robinson will not only silence critics, but also elevate the entire team's level. Playing at Kentucky naturally brings pressure, but also an opportunity to shine on one of college basketball's biggest stages. The blend of his talent, Pope's coaching philosophy, and the chance to lead the Wildcats promises to be one of the highlights of the 2024-25 season. So, as analysts and fans debate where Robinson should rank among the best small forwards, the Kentucky forward is focused on what truly matters: his performance on the court. And if his response on social media is any indication, he's more than ready to show that his ranking was underestimated and that he's set to be a cornerstone of this team. And what's your take on Robinson? Let me know at the end of the video. But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Sheppard is poised to make his NBA debut with the Houston Rockets, and expectations are high for the former Kentucky Wildcats player. Selected as the 3rd overall pick in the NBA draft, Sheppard is already receiving comparisons that place him among the elite, highlighting his potential as one of the most promising shooters of the new generation. His teammate Amen Thompson's statement, comparing Sheppard's shooting to that of Steph Curry, the greatest shooter in NBA history, further boosts the confidence the Rockets have in him. During his college basketball tenure, Sheppard proved to be one of the country's most accurate shooters, standing out during the season with the Wildcats under coach Mark Pope. His ability to convert long-range shots was one of the main reasons why the Houston Rockets decided to invest in him early in the draft. His impressive performance in the Summer League only confirmed what many already knew: Sheppard has the talent needed to be a fundamental piece in the Rockets' rebuilding process, which aims for a return to the playoffs. For coach Ime Udoka, who now leads the Houston team, Sheppard brings a lethal combination of precision and composure under pressure. His comparison to Curry should not be seen as an exaggeration, but as a recognition of his excellence as a shooter. While many young players arrive in the NBA with skill, few manage to bring the same consistency in crucial moments, and Sheppard has shown that he can be that reliable figure for both the Rockets and their fans. In a league where three-point shooting is increasingly valued, Sheppard already has a clear differentiator that could make him a rising star. Even starting the season off the bench, behind veteran Fred VanVleet, Sheppard is expected to make an immediate impact. With a young and talented group, including Amen Thompson and Jalen Green, the Rockets are assembling a core that can compete in the near future, and Sheppard's role will be crucial for this. Van Vliet's ability to mentor him and guide his transition to the NBA is also seen as an advantage, as Fred brings the experience of leading a team to an NBA title. Sheppard will have the opportunity to learn and develop throughout the season, but many believe he has all the conditions to assume the starting point guard position over the course of the year. His versatility, coupled with his game vision and shooting ability, puts him in a unique position to directly influence the Rockets' fate this season. If the Houston team manages to compete for a playoff spot, Sheppard will undoubtedly be one of the reasons for this success. The BBN, Kentucky's fanatical fan base, will be watching every move Sheppard makes in the NBA. His stint with the Wildcats left a unique mark, and now, with the support of the Houston community, he has the chance to carry this legacy to the highest level of basketball. Although many initially had doubts about his transition to the NBA, his performance in the Summer League dispelled much of these concerns, and now he seems ready to prove that he can compete on equal footing with the best in the league. Thompson's praise, comparing Sheppard's shooting to Steph Curry's, can be seen as one of the highest accolades a young player can receive. However, more important than the comparison itself is the confidence his teammates already place in him, which could be a decisive factor for his success in Houston. The Rockets are building a roster that aims to be among the best in the NBA in the future, and Sheppard could be the key element in that journey. This guy is going to make a big splash. The upcoming matchup with the Bulldogs brings a unique twist as Kentucky's starting quarterback, Brock Vandagriff, is set to face his former team. Vandagriff, who began his journey as one of the most promising talents at Georgia, never managed to secure the starting spot in Athens and thus transferred to Kentucky in pursuit of a leadership role. Vandagriff's decision to leave the Bulldogs was not just a career choice, but also a strategic and well-thought-out move. In a time when the college football transfer portal is increasingly active and often controversial, Vandagriff's mature and professional handling of the situation stands out. Georgia's coach, Kirby Smart, publicly praised the former five-star quarterback's demeanor, highlighting the respect and loyalty Vandagriff showed even as he sought new challenges. According to Smart, Vandagriff was aware that if Carson Beck, Georgia's current quarterback, returned for another season, his chances of starting would be slim. This frank understanding between player and coach appears to have been crucial for a smooth transition. Smart commended Vandagriff's professionalism during his departure, stating that he left Georgia better than he found it, a testament to the positive impact he had on the Bulldogs program, despite not securing a starting role. The move to Kentucky under coach Mark Stoops offers Vandagriff the chance to finally showcase his talent on the field. With 2 national championships under his belt as part of the Georgia squad, Vandagriff brings a wealth of experience and a winning mindset, which could be crucial for the Wildcats throughout the season. While his love and respect for Georgia remain, it's clear that the quarterback will be motivated to try and defeat his old team in this significant SEC showdown. From Kentucky's perspective, the game against Georgia is more than a chance for redemption after a disappointing performance against South Carolina, where the Wildcats' offense failed to score. Facing the Bulldogs, widely regarded as one of the most dominant teams in college football in recent years, will be a monumental task. However, history shows that Georgia often struggles in Lexington, and the Wildcats may see this game as an opportunity to surprise. Though Mark Stoops' team enters as significant underdogs, with a plus 24-point spread, Vandagriff's presence adds an extra layer of excitement to the matchup. He more than anyone knows how Georgia's defense operates, having practiced against it for years. Additionally, his experience with the Bulldogs' winning program could be a key factor for Kentucky, especially if he can lead a more efficient and consistent offense than the week prior. The pressure, undoubtedly, will be on Vandagriff. He'll need to manage the expectations of Kentucky fans, who are looking for a strong response after the loss to South Carolina and the desire to prove to Georgia that he can compete at a high level. The narrative of a former player facing his old team always adds an extra layer of excitement, and this game will be no exception. If Kentucky can improve its offensive performance, and if Vandagriff can efficiently lead his team, there's a chance the Wildcats can at least keep the game competitive. While defeating Georgia is a monumental challenge, covering the plus 24-point spread is not out of the question, especially considering the history of tough games between these teams in Lexington. For Vandagriff, the matchup will be a mix of emotions. While he holds deep respect for Kirby Smart and Georgia, the desire to defeat his old team will undoubtedly be present. This will be his opportunity to prove that he is not only capable of being a starter, but also of leading a program like Kentucky to significant victories. This upcoming matchup between the Wildcats and Georgia presents a unique scenario, especially with Alabama on Georgia's horizon, which might lead them to not focus fully on Kentucky. This exact type of game is the classic trap game in college football. Kentucky comes into this game off a painful loss to South Carolina, where nothing seemed to work. The offensive line was ineffective. Brock Vandagriff, having transferred from Georgia, struggled to find enough time for proper reads, and the offense looked disjointed. However, it's important to note that such games can often have a revitalizing effect. A poor performance can ignite a competitive fire in teams, and that could be just what the Wildcats need to regroup. The key for Georgia will be maintaining focus. Kirby Smart has a notable ability to get his team to play intensely regardless of the opponent. He's always managed to make the Bulldogs feel like they are underdogs, which keeps them focused even against theoretically weaker teams. However, with Alabama up next and a bye week following the Kentucky game, there's a slight chance Georgia might enter this SEC matchup without their usual full attention. If there's a moment for Kentucky to keep the game competitive, it's now. Georgia comes to Lexington with a 2-0 record and, as usual, is the heavy favorite. However, the Bulldogs' previous wins may mask potential vulnerabilities. The 24-point line favoring Georgia suggests an easy victory, but the Wildcats could surprise if they manage to fix their offensive issues and put up a solid defense. For Kentucky, this game is not just a chance to redeem themselves from the South Carolina loss, but also to demonstrate that they can still compete with the top teams in the country. Vandagriff, familiar with Kirby Smart's system, could be an interesting factor in this duel. Though he left Georgia seeking a starting opportunity, he still carries with him insights into the program, which could help craft a more effective offensive strategy. If Kentucky's offensive line can give Vandagriff the time he needs, the Wildcats' offense could be much more productive than last week. For Georgia, the challenge will be to maintain the intensity that has made them a powerhouse in college football. While many view this game as a formality before the big showdown with Alabama, underestimating Kentucky would be a mistake. Over the years, Georgia has had more difficulty than expected against the Wildcats, especially in Lexington. While the favoritism is clearly on the Bulldogs' side, a lackluster performance could keep Kentucky close in the score, and a contested game throughout is not out of the question. Even though a victory might seem hard to imagine for the Wildcats, the ability to cover the 24-point spread and put on a strong showing could reignite the fans' confidence after the disappointing loss to South Carolina. Keeping the game competitive against the country's top team would be a sign that there is still hope for Kentucky this season, especially with the experience and talent Vandagriff brings to the offense. The scenario for this game may seem tilted in Georgia's favor, but if the Bulldogs enter without the necessary seriousness, they could find themselves in a much tougher contest than anticipated. Kirby Smart will surely try to ward off any complacency, but in the unpredictable world of college football, even the best teams can face unexpected challenges. For Kentucky, This is the chance to turn a seemingly directionless season into a turning point. And if the Wildcats manage to keep the game competitive, they will have achieved a significant part of that mission. The showdown in Lexington might be more intriguing than many anticipate. If Georgia is indeed looking ahead to Alabama and comes in relaxed, Kentucky will have the chance to capitalize on the moment. Meanwhile, for Kirby Smart and his Bulldogs, the challenge will be ensuring they don't fall into the trap of underestimating an opponent who, despite a heavy loss, can still offer resistance. What do you think? I'd love to hear your honest opinion, so please comment.